So, some interesting news that's kind of gone under the radar a bit this weekend is around Audi and their changes that they're going to be allowed to kind of implement when it comes to their budget, for the budget cap in Formula 1. Now, I've obviously had a lot of controversy this weekend in the United States Grand Prix, not only between Red Bull and McLaren off the track because of the Red Bull T-tray, but also on track as well because of the incident between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. I've got videos on all of them already, but something that kind of slipped under the radar was about Audi, about how they're going to be allowed to spend more than other teams in 2026 when they become a works manufacturer, when they fully take over the Sauber team. So let's have a look at this, guys. Interesting article here on the F1Chronicle.com as always. Audi will be allowed to spend more under Formula 1's budget cap provisions from 2026. Bosses at the Sauber team, now 100% owned by Audi ahead of the start of the German carmaker's official F1 project from 2026, have urged that they should be able to be permitted to spend more because of higher wage bills in Switzerland. Interesting. The exact increase is not yet known, but Automotor und Sport said wages in Switzerland, where Sauber's Heinville factory is located, are generally about 30% higher than that in Britain. Predictably, rival F1 teams are reportedly unhappy with the idea of a special treatment for Audi, but they are powerless to block the move because of the new Concord agreement for 2026 is yet to be agreed or signed. According to the FIA's single-seater boss Nicholas Tombashis, the fact that the governing body currently has full freedom to help out Audi is good news. Otherwise, it would be like trying to form a democracy out of 9 wolves and 1 sheep, he smiled. Welcome to the piranha tank, as Eddie Jordan used to say. However, Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur predicts that other teams will now be lining up for special dispensation. That would lead to endless discussions, he said. Right, so interesting stuff there. So the reason why they are comparing it to the UK is because the lion's share of the cars of the teams are based in what is known as Motorsport Valley or the UK. I think 6 out of the 10 teams are based in Motorsport Valley, and the exception to that in the UK is McLaren, who are based down in Woking in Surrey, but that is still in the UK. So the majority of the teams are based there, even teams like Alpine that are partly based in France because their engine manufacturing for now are primarily based in the UK in terms of where they build the cars. So that's quite a few. So you've got Red Bull, McLaren, Alpine, who else you've got? You've got Mercedes, even these teams that race under a foreign flag, they are based in the UK. Now the exceptions to that are of course Ferrari, who are based in Italy, RB are also based in Italy, and Sauber, who will become Audi, are based in Switzerland. Now, this is an interesting move. It's a smart move by Audi to try this. You know, at the end of the day, always ask the question, try and get any advantage you can. That's Formula 1. But them being based in Switzerland is not a new thing. They've been based in Switzerland forever. Sauber came into Formula 1 in the early 1990s, and to my knowledge they have always been based in Switzerland. They've certainly always raced under the Swiss flag when they've been an independent manufacturer. The exception to that being of course when they were under BMW, and I believe they raced under the German flag, could be wrong there, but they were still based in Heinville in Switzerland during that time. So I think it's one of them where it's like, well, it's already happened, you know, we've already been competing with that, and I think that might be a reason why Sauber have potentially struggled for so long. Makes you think, doesn't it? Because they've not been a true midfield team really since, 2012 when they had Perez and when they were getting podiums. And they've had some flashes underneath, you know, the likes of Kimi Raikkonen driving for them. But in truth, those Alfa Romeo days were not good for them. So it's an interesting one for sure. I don't know. I mean, like they say, Fred Vasseur has kind of gone with that, because it's like, well, you're opening the can of worms with that, because wages in the United States are higher than in the UK. So then you're giving Haas a bit of an advantage for that, but Haas have bases in Italy and in the UK. So then what happens with that? Should they get a little bit of a boost because of that? You're opening a can of worms. And then to Ferrari, did they get a smaller budget cap because wages in Italy are less than the UK? I don't know if they are, by the way, I'm just guessing, but let's just say they are. Did Ferrari get a smaller budget cap because of that? No, that shouldn't be the case, you know. So I don't know if this is going to go through. I'd be surprised if it does. What is happening though, and we've already covered this before in the F1 Chronicle, what is happening is that this Concord agreement is being discussed and the budget cap is going to increase, and it's going to increase in line with general kind of inflation since it was first implemented in, I want to say 2021 was the first season it was there. I could be wrong, but it's been pretty recent. But even in that time, inflation's gone up. As we all know, guys, everybody knows that inflation has gone up. So yeah, they're gonna adjust it to kind of compensate for that. So the teams, even though they'll be allowed to spend more, in real terms, it's not a big difference. But could Sauber, who's going to become Audi, get an advantage with that? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen. I'll be surprised. I really would be. And like I said, I think it's just opening a can of worms there at that point, because you've got teams that, even though they're based in the UK, have employees who are based elsewhere. Mercedes have some guys in Germany with the engine thing. You know, Haas have bases in the UK and also Italy as well, in addition to the United States. So I think you're opening a can of worms. But it's an interesting discussion point. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below as always. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell as well, guys. And we'll see you very soon. Have a good one.